What if I told you that a simple cup of coffee could be the key to regulating your blood sugar and preventing diabetes from advancing silently over the years? Yes, you heard that right. I'm not talking about miracle pills or restrictive diets that are impossible to follow. I'm talking about something so simple, so everyday, that we often don't even pay attention to it. Coffee. I'm Dr. Evelyn Carter, an expert in diabetes prevention and healthy aging, and I want to tell you something that has surprised even my own colleagues in the medical field. We've discovered that it's not just the amount of coffee you drink that matters, but also the exact timing and precise way you consume it. According to research published in Diabetes Care in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, drinking coffee at the right times and in the correct way can increase insulin sensitivity by up to 40% and reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes by up to 50% in people over 60 years old. And you can achieve this without spending a fortune on expensive medications, without forcing your body through extreme fasting, just by adjusting how and when you drink your coffee. If this topic interests you, write a 1 in the comments, because I'm going to share a method that has already helped over 10,000 people regain control of their blood sugar. I promise that by the time we finish, you'll never look at a cup of coffee the same way again. Let me explain something important. Type 2 diabetes is a silent condition that affects millions of people. It's the progressive accumulation of sugar that damages organs, nerves, and blood vessels. At first, you barely notice it. A bit more thirst, getting tired faster, wounds that take longer to heal. But gradually, this dysregulation can lead to painful neuropathies, serious vision problems, heart attacks, and loss of quality of life. The data is alarming. More than 30% of people over 60 already show signs of prediabetes or diabetes. From age 80 onwards, that number rises to 1 in every 2 people. And here's what's most frustrating. Many do everything right, eat low carbs, take their medications, walk every day. But their sugar still rises, they feel fatigue, and their levels don't respond. I saw this constantly in my own practice. Disciplined patients who followed diets to the letter but still remained out of control without understanding why, until I discovered something that changed everything, and it has to do with how and when you drink your coffee. So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, because what's coming next could transform your life. For years, I felt that an essential piece was missing. Patients who ate well, exercised, slept their hours, and still continued with blood sugar spikes and constant fatigue. And finally that piece appeared. It was something so simple that almost no one pays attention to it. The specific way coffee is consumed. The difference lies in 3 critical factors: when you drink it, how you prepare it, and what you pair it with. Because when done correctly, that proper way sends a direct signal to the body saying, it's time to regulate, not to accumulate. It's time to sensitize receptors, not to create resistance. Drinking coffee correctly activates natural processes that favor insulin sensitivity thanks to chlorogenic acid that slows carbohydrate absorption, polyphenols that protect cells, natural magnesium that improves cellular function, and the stimulation of GLP-1, the hormone responsible for lowering sugar and maintaining stable energy. Let me tell you about the case of Mr. Robert, 72 years old, from Chicago. He arrived with an HbA1c of 8.4%, constant spikes and fatigue that prevented him from playing with his grandchildren. He had tried everything: strict diets, walks, adjusted medications, but nothing worked completely. When I reviewed his habits, I discovered he drank coffee black on an empty stomach when waking up, another in mid-afternoon with 3 spoons of sugar, and a third at night with sweetened condensed milk. Although coffee is beneficial, the way he was drinking it was completely sabotaging his glycemic control. I taught him the method I'm going to share with you today. 8 weeks later, Robert came back transformed. His HbA1c had dropped to 6.5%. The spikes had stabilized, and he told me something I'll never forget. "Doctor, for the first time in years, I feel like I own my body again. Now I'm going to teach you exactly what I did with Robert. But first, you need to know the 3 most common mistakes you're probably making without realizing it. First mistake, and the most serious one, drinking coffee on a completely empty stomach. After 8 to 10 hours without eating, your body is in a catabolic state. Caffeine alone elevates cortisol and glucagon, causing the liver to release stored glucose. That morning spike can raise your sugar between 20 and 40 milligrams per deciliter without you having eaten anything. It's like starting a cold engine at maximum power. Second mistake, drinking coffee too late after 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Caffeine interferes with nocturnal insulin sensitivity. Your body has specific circadian rhythms. At night, it should be preparing to repair and regulate hormones. If you keep cortisol elevated late, you interrupt that entire process. The next day, your body wakes up less sensitive to insulin. Third mistake, drinking coffee with sugar, sweetened whole milk, or sweet cream. Pure coffee has chlorogenic acid and magnesium that improve insulin sensitivity. But if you add sugar or sweet dairy products, you trigger immediate spikes and long-term insulin resistance. You're training your body to need more and more insulin. If you usually make any of these mistakes, don't worry. Nobody taught us to drink coffee correctly. But now that you know, you can start doing it more intelligently. And now, what's really important? How to do it right. I'm going to teach you the C3+1 method. It's 4 simple steps that can transform your metabolic stability in weeks. C3+1 means coffee, insulin control, chronology, and one additional step that makes all the difference. Step 1. Morning coffee with protein and cinnamon. Activating metabolism correctly. You wake up and your body is in the golden window. During the first 2 hours of the day, insulin sensitivity reaches its highest level. How do we take advantage of this? Prepare your hot coffee and add these 3 elements. First, between 10 and 15 grams of unflavored isolated whey protein, or 2 to 3 tablespoons of hydrolyzed collagen. Second, a splash of milk or unsweetened plant-based beverage, just 30 to 50 milliliters. Third, half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. This combination works magic. The protein stops the catabolic state. Cinnamon improves insulin sensitivity by 30 to 40%. Coffee provides chlorogenic acid that slows sugar absorption. Studies from 2023 confirm that coffee plus protein plus cinnamon reduces postprandial spikes by up to 29%. Step 2. Coffee before meals, preparing the body to absorb better. About 20 to 30 minutes before each main meal, drink a small plain coffee or with a pinch of cinnamon, always without sugar. Chlorogenic acid slows carbohydrate absorption in the intestine. It's like putting a filter that makes sugars enter your blood slower and more controlled. It also improves insulin action by 25 to 35%. Studies in diabetes care show that coffee 30 minutes before eating lowers postprandial glucose by up to 35 milligrams per deciliter. Step 3. Coffee after exercise, maintaining stability and protecting cells. If you exercise, even if it's just walking 20 minutes, drink a black coffee without sugar between 15 and 30 minutes after finishing. After exercise, your muscles are at maximum insulin sensitivity. Caffeine combined with that post-exercise state enhances glucose uptake in muscles for up to 48 hours afterward. It's like opening the doors of your muscle cells wide and saying, "Here's energy. Use it." Step 4. The +1. Afternoon coffee with magnesium and L-theanine. If you have a second coffee, it must be before 2 in the afternoon at the latest. And add 2 specific supplements, 200 milligrams of magnesium citrate and between 100 and 200 milligrams of L-theanine. Magnesium improves nocturnal insulin sensitivity. L-theanine softens the stimulating effect and prevents cortisol spikes that would interfere with your sleep and next day's glucose. This way, coffee doesn't affect your rest or your nighttime sugar regulation. I propose a challenge. Follow this C3+1 protocol for just 7 days. You'll notice fewer morning spikes, more constant energy, better control after meals. If you maintain it for 4 to 8 weeks, you'll see how your HbA1c improves, your daily stability, and your mood. This is pure physiology, your body working as it should. Now, the frequent question, Doctor, how many cups of coffee should I drink exactly? The old rule of maximum 2 cups doesn't work for everyone. Your body is unique. I prefer a personalized formula I use in practice. Your weight in kilograms divided by 30. The result is the maximum number of small cups, 150 to 200 milliliters, you can drink per day. For example, 70 kilograms divided by 30 equals 2.3. You can drink between 2 and 3 small cups per day, always following the C3+1 method. If you exercise, for each hour of moderate activity, you can add half an extra cup. How do you know if it's correct? Your body gives you clear clues. If after coffee you feel awake but calm, without nervousness or a crash, 2 hours later, perfect. If you feel anxiety or voracious hunger, you're drinking too much or at the wrong time. A simple trick, use a measuring cup of 150 to 200 milliliters. Every sip counts, especially after 60 when caffeine tolerance decreases and the effects on blood sugar are more evident. Now let's talk about the silent enemies of glucose-regulating coffee. 3 common villains that can ruin all your effort. Enemy 1. Coffee with artificial sweeteners. The chemical trap. Many switch sugar for zero-calorie sweeteners, but studies show that aspartame, sucralose, and acesulfame K alter intestinal microbiota and increase long-term insulin resistance. A damaged gut generates more insulin resistance. Enemy 2. Poor quality decaffeinated coffee. The false friend. Decaffeinated coffee processed with chemical solvents loses almost all the chlorogenic acid and magnesium, the compounds that regulate sugar. Sometimes it contains residues that affect liver and glycemic control. If you drink decaf, make sure it's processed with the Swiss water method. Enemy 3. Drinking coffee with foods very high in refined carbohydrates. The perfect sabotage. The sweet roll, cookie, or white bread, along with coffee, cancel all the benefits of chlorogenic acid and generate brutal spikes. It's like stepping on the brake and accelerator at the same time. The golden rule for the first month. Avoid these 3 enemies. Give your body a real opportunity to recalibrate its glycemic balance and recover natural sensitivity. After that, you can reintroduce them sensibly, but always applying what you learned. Now, I want to share the story of Margaret, one of my most cherished patients. Margaret came to my office at 66 years old. Her concern wasn't just the number on the glucometer. It was the constant fear of complications, of losing independence, of becoming a burden to her children. She had an HbA1c above 8%, daily spikes above 200 after each meal and fatigue that stole her desire to play with her grandchildren. She told me with tears, "Doctor, I've tried everything. Nothing works completely. My body doesn't listen to me anymore." I proposed the complete C3+1 method to her. In the first week, she called me excited. I have more constant energy. By the 4th week, the spikes had dropped drastically, from 200 to 145, then to 135. By the 8th week, her HbA1c had dropped to 6.4%, almost in the normal range. But the best part was this. Margaret went on a cruise with her children along the coast without fear. She enjoyed every meal, every walk, every moment. When she returned, she told me, "Doctor, coffee became my ritual of freedom. Each cup reminds me that I have control. If she could do it, you can too. Control is in your hands, literally in the cup you hold every morning." Now, the frequent questions. If I start like this, will I have more spikes or nervousness? No, quite the opposite. With protein, cinnamon, and correct timing, energy is stable without crashes. Can I drink coffee with regular milk? Yes, whole or semi-skimmed milk without sugar, just 30 to 50 milliliters. The fat slows absorption and protects your stomach. If I have advanced diabetes, is it dangerous? On the contrary, it's a powerful tool. Well-taken coffee improves sensitivity and can reduce HbA1c between 0.8 and 1% in 3 to 6 months. Just measure more at the beginning and adjust medication with your doctor. Do I need expensive brand coffee? No. A good 100% Arabica natural roast coffee from the supermarket works perfectly. And here's the most important part. If we want to stay stable without fear of complications, the body needs a complete system. Think of a three-legged table. Leg 1, well-taken coffee. The natural sensitizer. Chlorogenic acid and caffeine improve sensitivity and reduce uncontrolled absorption. Leg 2, protein and fiber. The stabilizers. Between 1.2 and 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of weight plus 30 grams of fiber per day maintains satiety and prevents spikes. Leg 3, aerobic exercise. The multiplier. 30 to 45 minutes of brisk walking, 3 to 5 times per week, multiply all benefits. And the extra boost. Berberine 500 milligrams with morning coffee can enhance the effect by up to an additional 25%. It's a natural compound similar to metformin without side effects in most people. So don't look for miracle formulas of just one thing. Follow this simple but powerful tripod: intelligent coffee, quality protein and fiber, and constant movement. Friends, regulating your sugar and maintaining your vitality doesn't need expensive clinics or experimental injections. Often, the most powerful solution is the simplest and most accessible. And as we've seen, it can all start with something as fundamental as your next cup of coffee. If this video opened your eyes, share it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. Next week, I'll reveal how to combine this C3+1 method with intermittent fasting adapted for people over 60. Always remember, your glycemic control, your energy, and your quality of life are literally in your cup of coffee. Every sip counts. Every habit you adopt today adds up to build a more stable, more vital, and more secure future. Maintain consistency, be patient, and remember it's never too late to start taking care of yourself and regaining control of your sugar. I'm Dr. Evelyn Carter, and your healthy future starts with a simple cup of coffee and with the decision to take action now. May you have a day full of stable energy and perfectly controlled sugar.